Hello. Welcome to the stream. We might have a little bit of lag tonight. I've been having some internet issues in my area. And so if that happens, I apologize. There might be a little stuttering or some things, and it's just unavoidable. So pardon me. Rukshanda, hello. How you doing? What's this? Please, this number accidentally posted. I5? I'm not sure what you mean. Hello. So basically what I'm doing here, Rukshanda, this is there's a process that I use for this type of thing where we determine your birth card. And once we have your birth card determined, we can proceed with the reading. I'm not sure what you're still a hippie. Hey, good to see you. I'm not sure what you mean, which number you're referring to. I'm sorry. But essentially what we need to do is determine your birth card, right? So that's going to be found by looking at the chart here. And you can either put your birth month and year, or month and day in the chat, or you can locate your birthday around the wheel here, and then we'll find your birth card. Once we have your birth card, then I can proceed. Okay. And in the meantime, we have a lot of things that we're going to be talking about tonight. The card of the day is an interesting subject right now because we're in the last couple of days of this period that we're in right now, which is the period of time of the Seven of Wands, and we're moving into the Eight of Pentacle, and we're going to talk about what that means and sort of how to best weather that transition. Oh, you put your phone number in the comment. Okay, well, let me jump and take care of that. No problem. Yeah, that's no fun at all. Okay, hang on now. Give me just a moment while I do that. Yeah, that could be a little scary, so let's take care of that here. All right, I'm not seeing the comment yet. It might have been deleted. Let's take a look. Maybe. There's no comments on the video on my end in YouTube Studio. And so I am unable to delete it because I don't see it. But just to be sure, I'm going to view the page. Oh, okay, you did. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. All right, great. That said then, Anu, hello. So let's take a look at August 19th. Okay, August 19th. So we go here. August 19th is... Oh, wait, so today is your birthday as well, Rukshanda. That's great, because I have a special reading for you then. There's a reading I do every day if it's your birthday. Okay, so that certainly that will come into play here as well. But so your birth card is also the card of the day, which is the Seven of Wands. Hello, good. Doing very well. Thank you for asking. Okay, so yeah, that said, your birth card is also the card of the day, which is the Seven of Wand. And what the Seven of Wand represents is the idea of having the high ground, the idea of rather than fighting with courage, which is acting in spite of fear, this is acting fearless. This is courage isn't even necessary because you have the high ground. So energetically, what that means is that you are typically in a position to weather adversity and to be able to fight through that adversity without that hindering you. And so that's a good energy to have. And that said, being in the period of time that you were born in, and this being that energy of the period that we're in now around your birthday and the days surrounding it, things will come easier to you. Specific parts as well, depending upon some factors, related to the particular circumstance. You may have an advantage or a disadvantage in communication, or an advantage or a disadvantage physically, but generally speaking, this is an advantageous time, right? And so what I'll do then first is, I had planned on saving it for later in the stream, but there's no reason to do that if you're here. So, happy birthday. And this is the birthday message for everybody whose birthday is August 19th, but in this particular circumstance, Rikshanda. So, what we have here is the Nine of Wand, the King of Pentacle, and the Star. Okay. You show up. When other people are scared, you come anyway. When they run, you enter. This person is standing alone and looking at these other wands in the back going, where did everybody go? Right? Because you're the one doing the work. And now, what this also, however, can imply is the idea that there is a deficiency in the how much work you do and the recognition you get, and how much work you do and how much work others do, right? Like you feel like they're not pulling their weight. Now, the King of Pentacle, though, does refer to the fact that you are reliable, and that's why people can count on you to do that. And although it does seem like you're doing more than others, the reality is the world needs that, right? The world needs people that are willing to step up when others can't, whether they're ill, injured, elderly, mentally or physically disabled, or any host of other issues that prevents people from reaching their potential. There's others like you that are a step up. Okay, so thank you for stepping up. The world needs people like you. But now what the Star says here is that you need to give in to that fact. Like, I know it's hard, and it's sometimes frustrating when you're the one having to kind of bear the burden within your group there. But the reality is that if you give in to that and recognize that the power that comes with that, it kind of changes the approach, and you will begin to attract attention for doing that and for living that way. And the effect of that is the Star. One of the things the Star refers to is the shedding of sort of the nonsense and the fear, and revealing the true self that's underneath that, the observer that is unchangeable, but that we ignore because we take on this other identity throughout our life, like our fears and our doubts and our insecurities. Well, none of those are real. And so when we take those away, what we're left with is this perfect being that acts in a way that is conducive to our growth spiritually, and that allows us to experience joy, like real, true joy. Okay, and the way that you are going to accomplish that is by succumbing to the fact that for whatever reason you have this quality that lets you show up when other people don't, and you have to sort of give into that responsibility. Okay, so that's the message for the birthday, and that goes for anybody whose birthday is today. And I do want a message every day for the birthday. So if you go to my channel, I post a birthday message every day, and so you can pop in on that on your day. Okay, so I hope that was insightful. And it really, it does require our participation, but the reward is great, right? So, currently struggling, okay. Right. Well, some of the struggles, and that's certainly something we could look into. It's sort of out of the scope of like a personal message. That would be more of a, well, specifically relationships, or really the mind, body, soul reading is really ideal for that. It's actually more 5 cards than 3, but basically it looks at what is the karmic foundation of the situation, so that we can see how to navigate. As an example, there's assume that the circumstance can be perceived as a sound, as a vibration. Once you know what that note is, it lets you more actively know what note you should hum to make a harmony. And if you don't know what the overall environment is, then it's very difficult to know how to interact with it to get what you want, or to benefit, or to go with the natural flow of it, right? So what the mind, body, soul reading does is look at your mental, physical, and emotional state related to the circumstance. In this case, it would be career or relationship, and to do that. And so I can certainly do that if you'd like. Okay, let's take a look here. I guess Anu would be next. Let's see. And we have December 23rd. December 23rd, okay. Let's see. So that's good. December 23rd falls under the 2 of Pentacle. This is for Anu. And then Dipshika, you'll be right after that. Okay, so give me just a moment to kind of put all this together here. This is for Anu, and this is the, looks like that. Let's just clarify that. We are on December 23rd. That is, yep, the 2 of Pentacle. Okay, and now, each sign also has a major arcana card associated with it, right? This is the trump card that is relevant to the particular sign. And it's kind of like the ruling energy of that sign. Okay, so let's jump to this. Okay, here we go. So let's just pop your cards out here so you can see them. So the 2 of Pentacle is your birth card, right? And this is the card that it's very similar to your astrological sign, but in tarot form. And then the ruling major of the period and that 7 of Wands is the current energy that we're in right now, and that's why that's present in this reading. And so the first 2 cards are your birth card and your major, okay? And then the 3rd card is the current energy of the time that we're in right now. So now the 2 of Pentacle refers to a few things. It refers to the idea of constant change. But it's also the lesson that we participate in that change. That change is not just something that happens to us, but that we also have the ability to interact with and to navigate and to craft. The devil is a warning, but also a lesson of overindulgence and the risk and reward of doing that, right? So the risk is addiction, obsessive compulsive behavior that leads to bad things mentally and physically, poor health, bad habits. But it also refers to the side of us that we access when necessary. And it's important not to give in to those as a way of being. The lesson in the devil, too, is that the devil rests on the mind. The devil requires our permission. The devil requires our participation. And if we don't give permission, then it loses agency and we keep control. So it's just a matter of kind of using the tool when necessary and not when not. And that is very indicative of the first card. There's this idea of kind of the choice of which side that you use based on what's necessary at the time, right? And so you have that power to wield. Now, in the current circumstance, which is the Seven of Wands, what we have is that you are going to have an okay time. It's going to be easy for you to make that decision. You're going to be able to slip back and forth easily during this time between your base desires and the ones that are more practical and are more conducive to your growth, right? One feeds the body, one feeds the soul. One is sustainable and one's not, and so you have to kind of consider that, okay? And so what I would say is during this time especially, you have the ability easily for the next, probably until about the 23rd, so about the next 4 days, to sort of bounce in between these qualities in yourself. But be careful, because as we move into this new phase, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, from the 7 into the 8 of Pentacle, some things are going to be required of you. And during that time that's required of you, you need to be in a state of being able to be flexible. And if you're being rigid in the state of the devil, you're not going to be able to do that. And so, it's going to be a short-lived success currently that's going to fall in the coming weeks if you're not prepared and you give in to that devil, okay? So it's always there with you, but you have the ability to control it, and that's the point. And it's actually a gift from that perspective, okay? Alrighty. So I hope that was insightful. Let's take a look at... I can do a quick one card for that particular question, Anu, and let's see. The specific question that you asked there, and let's just jump to the desk. The specific question that you asked with relation to Manish, the Ace of Swords is a card of action and of motion and movement, and it is also specifically a card of mental energy as opposed to physical or emotional energy. And it's not typically a card that is related to love or emotion. The love and emotion real cards are the Cup and the Wand. The Pentacle can also refer to that as well, but it's more of a nurturing kind of familial love, not the kind you're asking about. And the Sword is usually not, and so it's kind of a bad sign with respect for me. That it's kind of like a mentally, maybe, but not emotionally. So they may have some, this is again for Anu, there may be some type of thoughts about you, but it's not overly romantic. Like there's not a lot of emotion behind it. It's more here than here. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, who do we have here? Dipshika? Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's check you first. April 9th. Okay. Yep. All right, let's take a look here. First of all, let's grab your card, and then we can answer that pretty easily. So the first thing we're going to do is find April 9th, which is the Three of Wand in Aries, right? Three of Wand. And so let's jump to that. Okay. Let's type that really quickly. And the Three of Wand is in the energy of Aries. Okay. And Aries is representative of the Emperor, right? So let's just pop these out, and then we'll get to your question there. Okay, so we have the Emperor, and we have the Three of Wand. Perfect. Okay, so, and again, this energy too is going to make a lot of sense to you here. As far as the relationship in the future, with respect to your energy here, the Three of Wand. Let me jump to the desk. Okay. The Three of Wand is one of looking out into the world and imagining what is the there we go. What is the sorry about that. Okay. There's this idea of wanting to see the expanse and take in everything that's available out there. But this person, if you notice, is in a state of kind of waiting. There's two other wands, and they're in a state of waiting. What are they waiting for? Company. Not only do they want to explore the open plain, they want to share that exploration. They want to share the experience. Okay, and sorry, having some lag issues. And so, just deep within you is this desire to share with the world. And now, as far as the Emperor is concerned, you have Aries, which is action and motion, but there's also the idea of responsible action, planning. It's not you're not a rash from that respect. Yes, you are the one waiting. Yes. And more specifically, not just waiting, it's the idea of what it is you're waiting for. And what you're waiting for is somebody to join you on the journey. Right? This person is looking out at this space with the desire to experience that space, but they also don't want to do that alone. They're waiting for these other people to join them. And also the Emperor refers to the idea of being in a position of authority. But it's important that when you're ruling, that you rule responsibly, and that means yourself first, and that there be a plan. Right? That's sort of the energy there. Is that it's not just a matter of being in power and blindly doing what you want. It's more an ability of taking that power and using it responsibly for the intent of growth, right? But now, in respect to your question here, as far as a relationship in the future, let's jump to the desk and let's take a look here. I've been shuffling as we're going through your cards there. Okay, so let's just go right out of the middle. Okay. All right, so, when it comes to, here, I'll just put it up there. When it comes to yes or no questions, some cards require a little bit of interpretation, and some don't. They're just yes or no. Okay, the Ace of Discs is a yes. So essentially, there's a relationship in your future, and more specifically, actually, I see it as persisting, long-standing, solid, which is a good thing. Whenever you're asking about connections that are important like that, you want it to be a solid one and not something that's fleeting, which is possible. And I think that one of the things that we need to work diligently toward is not falling into the compulsion to make something more than it is. People come in and out of our lives for whatever reason, and it's not always the reason we think or want. And sometimes we need to look at what the actual purpose is and give in to that and be okay with that. And when it's time for things to move on, allow that to happen so that things don't outlive their usefulness and it become negative energy, right? So while that specific person that you had asked about, we can see, let's take a look actually. Just a sec here. I just want to look at something real quick. Okay. Okay. So let's do that. I'm going to pull a different deck for that, okay? I'm going to pull a different deck. Alright, and then we'll go from there. This is a deck that I use for love readings. There's a reading I actually did. It's on the channel if you would like to peek at that when you're done with the stream here. It's today's reading with respect to love. I post it every day. I have one coming up actually for the day here for the 19th. I'm in the United States on the East Coast, and so it's 2:45 a.m. And I typically post the one for the following day, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, in that range, right? And so that when people are up and whatever, it's ready for them for the day. So the one for the 19th is ready, and I just haven't uploaded it yet. But the one for the 18th, which just passed, which is still relevant, is up if you'd like to. But this is specific to you. The one I'm about to do is specific to you. Okay, so let's... Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out 5 cards, okay? The first card that I pull is you in this circumstance, in this connection, okay? Oh, good, great, yeah, I appreciate that. And the next card that I pull is going to be them, okay? And what these are is how you're feeling and what you actually want here. What's your actual motivation? And same for them. What are they feeling? And with respect to the connection between you and them, what's their real motivation? What's actually there? What are they thinking? And then we're going to do 3 more cards, and the 3 cards I'm about to put down refer to the mind, body, and soul. And that's going to be in order. Let me just move that up a bit right here. All right. Okay. And that's going to be in order of mind first. And this is the connection and how it's going to affect and how you are going to react mentally. This is how you will be affected and react physically. And this is the spiritual foundation from which you stand in this connection, okay? And so We'll start with you. What we have here is indecision. Indecision is Venus in Libra. And indecision refers to not necessarily not sure what to do. It's more a matter of emotional confusion. Emotional confusion. Kind of looking in one direction, then looking in another direction, and not knowing what it is exactly that you want. Indecision very often can come from insecurity. And it turns out that if you let go of that insecurity, you know what it is that you actually want. And sometimes the letting go requires a catalyst, right? It needs another person to maybe help that happen. And let's see, they may be that person, because I did see a good vibe when we originally did the one card. So let's take a look, okay? Okay, what we have here is also Venus, and this is Venus in Aquarius, okay? And so what we have in Venus in Aquarius is that this person is in their own world. This person is in the process of going through some stuff emotionally. It's not easy for them. It's taking them some time. This idea of this separation is important, right? Like, they're here in the water all by themselves. They're not even on land. They're all alone in the water, you know, and all this life is happening outside, away from them. They're detaching now. This doesn't mean that they're detached from you. They're even detached from the person that they're with. They're detached from, like, emotionally from life, due to some things that they're working on individually. And that also, however, it puts them in a vulnerable position. And so you have to recognize that although outwardly you may have an opinion about them, what's going on inside of them is different than you're thinking, and they're actually in a very vulnerable state, okay? Now, let's look at this connection with respect to the mind. And this is your mind. We have Mercury in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces. Inspiration is not a bad word, but what this really refers to is intellectually, Mercury is a creative energy. It's the energy of science and music, and Mercury is the energy that makes us want to dance. Mercury also, it comes from many different cultures, but Mercury is sort of the idea of the trickster that gave human beings all this knowledge to kind of like a trick to the gods. Well, we're going to get to that part, don't worry. And so mentally, this idea of the inspiration is, and I'm sorry for the lag. It seems like I'm having some issues with my stream, and I apologize. But so inspiration refers to the fact that mentally you're in a position of when you see something that interests you, that piques a connection, you're able to immediately see how you can dance with it, like create art with it, and that includes the people with you. So mentally you're very right-brained with respect to how you interface with this person. Yeah, the lag is really bad on my computer. It's I'm not sure if it's skipping on the stream, but it's pretty distracting actually. And so I apologize for that. If it's not working out, then I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's hard to I guess stay focused when it's like I'm getting red flashes all over my software that I'm dropping frames and it's skipping and okay. So I'm sorry for that said. As far as how this would affect this connection here, It's not an easy thing for you to manage because of the indecision aspect that we're talking about here. This mental confusion that's lending to anxiety is affecting this. Let's take a look at the relationship physically. We have the sun in Leo, and that's a very good sign because that is a sign of protection, meaning that there is a connection that is caring, that is considerate of the other person. And so basically it's an energy of two givers. And whenever you have that kind of circumstance, it's a very positive thing. I don't know if I'm having internet trouble. It's really, really bad. I might have to just end the stream and see what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask the audience here. Are you having any issues with the show? I'm not. It looks like I'm just skipping really bad, and I'm not able to. It doesn't look like I'm functioning right now, and I'm not sure if it's working well or if I'm working out on your end. If it's actually smooth and you can hear me, and there's motion, or is it just frozen? I'm not sure. I'm having. Looks like I'm having some trouble here. Yeah, I'm dropping 37% of my frames and at 40% CPU, so something's wrong. What is it? Downloading an update suddenly? That's his. Okay, good. Yeah, it's not over here. Wow. Okay. All right, then I'll just, I guess, ignore it. I'll ignore it then. Okay, so we were... Oh, wow, this is really, really affecting... how am I going to do that? Okay, we were at the body. I'm sorry, this is very distracting, and... I don't know, I'm getting errors all over the place. My processor's running at like crazy high. I don't want to cook my computer. Okay. Well, I'll attempt to continue. I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. The connection with the body. That's where we were. Okay, so the connection with the body. Yeah, it's very. It's a very, very positive energy. And again, like I had mentioned, it's sort of a generous, is a good word too. It's not just caring. It's more. There's a generosity there, physically. This is the mind card, the body card, and the soul card. So as we get through here, on the spiritual end, we have the sun in Capricorn, and that's very good. This is actually interesting because what that is the idea of the reward of the complementary nature of the relationship. So that means that there would be a positive connection. That would be a positive connection for both of you, and you can actually do things together that you would not be able to do alone, which is rare. I mean, you may want that in relationships, but does it ever really happen? But when it does, it's really something special. And I see that possibility existing. The thing that you need to work through in order to make that happen would be whatever this is here, right? This is the thing that's in your way. This detachment. I'm sorry, the lag is so bad that it's actually just taking all my attention. I'm really sorry. Which is unfortunate because, I've been streaming now for several weeks, and every night it doesn't work, and I mess with the settings, and I go and I figure it out, and I get on the stream, and it works fine, perfect, and I'm like, okay, great. So then tomorrow, when I click that same button, I'm gonna have the same result, and I don't. And so I will start the stream up. It will be horrible. So I'll go in and change settings that are different from yesterday's settings. Not the same at all, including, the stuff that worked now doesn't work, and the stuff that didn't work now works. And so I play that dance every day. And so now I'm in the step of that dance where it's not working, but it worked yesterday. And so I'm having stream issues again, to the point where it's actually becoming sort of like unusable on my side. And I'm going to do my best to get through the reading, but once this is complete, I'm going to be stopping the stream and figuring out what's going on, because this isn't going to work. And it's not fair to you either, so. Nandani, hello. Hey, I'm having some tech issues. I'm having an unfortunate experience where I don't know why, but my settings just suddenly decided that they're going to stop working. And so I'm literally dropping 40% of my frames, and my CPU is jumping up to like 70%. And yesterday I was running at full smooth with 9% CPU. So I'm hoping that maybe, because Microsoft is constantly pushing updates and things, that maybe something's like updating in the background. So that said, I'm not. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm attempting to stay in the place that I need to be to do this properly. What I'll do, if you'd like, let me zoom in on this, and you can take a screenshot. If you'd like, we can continue this another time, because the stream is so bad that I can't function on my end. And so I'm going to have to jump off, look at some settings, and have to jump back on and see if it's working out. So I'm really, really, really sorry. I expect to hopefully be able to jump back on within the next maybe 20 minutes or so. So if anyone would like to jump back on, we can start over and try to make this thing work. I appreciate everybody's patience, and I'm really sorry. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay? Let's see you soon.